Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, June 4th. Today we will have continued very hot temperatures, well above normal and near record heat in the area in brown across much of the Great Basin. Also, thunderstorm coverage will increase over central and eastern Nevada today. These thunderstorms will be a mix of wet and dry with gusty outflow winds. We will also have some isolated storms up in Idaho, along parts of the higher terrain of the Sierra Front, and then over the higher terrain of Utah. On Saturday, we will see winds increase over northern areas of Nevada into southern Idaho. With this next system moving eastward, this will push the thunderstorm threat on Saturday over the eastern portions of the Great Basin. Again, these storms will be a mix of wet and dry. We'll also continue with hot temperatures and also gusty winds and dry conditions over southern areas of the Great Basin. On Sunday, winds will increase in aerial coverage and in wind speed, with the strongest winds across Nevada into western Utah and the Arizona Strip, with still hot temperatures and isolated thunderstorms over eastern Utah. Over the last 24 hours, we saw scattered thunderstorms over parts of central Idaho and also isolated to scattered thunderstorms into southwest Idaho and western, northern, and central Nevada. These thunderstorms were a mix of wet and dry. Most areas saw less than a tenth of an inch of rainfall. We also had some isolated storms in the Uinta Basin, which were also on the drier side. Great Basin fire activity is indicated here with the red circles showing light initial attack with just small fires reported. However, we will have more lightning occur today. Over the last 7 days, very dry conditions have occurred across the Great Basin. However, over the last 14 to 30 days, we have had precipitation over the northern portion of Nevada, which brought fuel moistures down. However, in the heat, fuel moistures have increased fairly rapidly. ERCs are above the 80th to 90th percentile over the southern two-thirds of Utah and have been increasing elsewhere across the Great Basin and are approaching the 70th percentile in many areas. Looking at our ERC charts, you can see the ERCs, how quickly they've risen in Idaho. Southwest Idaho, they are approaching record highs for the time of year. ERCs remain at record highs and above the 90th or 95th percentile over the southern half of Utah. And over western Nevada, we are seeing ERCs again well above normal and increasing rapidly. The satellite image from today shows the strong ridge of high pressure dominating the Great Basin and the Rockies, which will be pushed eastward as this trough off the west coast approaches. But still, again, plenty of moisture for thunderstorms today and very hot temperatures. So for later today, we will see again those thunderstorms increase over central and eastern Nevada. We also will have isolated thunderstorms further north and east, but our main problem spots will likely be where the coverage is a little bit higher over parts of northern Ely District into southern Elko. But again, it will be something to watch with these thunderstorms developing in areas of critical fuels in very dry conditions. You can see from the map here on the left showing that thunderstorm coverage. Again, highest coverage across Nevada today, but isolated storms further north into Idaho and also further east into Utah. Relative humidity will remain below 15% across much of the Great Basin and just a little bit higher in the northern areas. On Saturday, this trough of low pressure moves into the Pacific Northwest coast, so we will see winds increase from northern California across northern Nevada. We'll also see winds increase over southern areas of the Great Basin, so a couple different high-risk areas for wind and gusty winds and low humidity on Saturday. Also, lightning will be pushed over to the eastern side of the Great Basin, so we do have some high risk for lightning over eastern Utah. On Saturday, you can see these gusty winds over northern Nevada with the dry conditions, and also gusty winds over southern areas of the Great Basin. We do have some stronger winds across central and eastern Idaho into Wyoming, with some relative humidity between about 15 and 20%. However, fuels are not quite as critical. But we have had fire activity recently in Idaho, so certainly if we do see starts or if we have anything remaining from the lightning, we could see some potential for fire spread on Saturday with those stronger winds. On Sunday, that area of low pressure moves further east, and this will increase winds across almost all of Nevada into the Arizona Strip and western Utah, so quite a bit of high risk for winds and low humidity on Sunday. And again, many of these areas will have seen recent lightning by then, so that will bring the potential for holdovers as well as fire spread from any human starts. So the wind speeds increase on Sunday. This looks to be our stronger day between Saturday and Sunday. So we will see wind gusts above 35 or even 40 miles per hour over western and northern Nevada, and also over eastern Nevada, western Utah. These winds will couple with single-digit relative humidity. So very dry conditions and gusty winds after the period of heat and lightning we are seeing right now. Forecast amounts of rainfall are indicated here, most on the lighter side. We will see again a mix of wet and dry storms. On Monday, we will see continued low pressure along the west coast, so we will continue to see some breezy winds across parts of especially the western half of the Great Basin. So we will be monitoring that for any additional high risk. And on Tuesday, that trough continues to push eastward. We will see a significant cooling trend starting later this weekend and going into early next week. This will drop our highs from near record levels back to near seasonal normals or just above normal over much of the Great Basin. So we will see windier conditions, still dry conditions, but a little bit cooler temperatures. And again, we'll be watching Tuesday for high risk as well. This looks to be a fairly windy period across the Great Basin for several days this weekend going into next week. On Wednesday, the trough starts to push eastward, still very dry conditions and some breezy conditions in the east. And by Thursday, that still breezy southwest flow. But again, the strongest days right now look to be Saturday through Tuesday as far as winds. No changes in the 7-day precipitation. Again, most of that rainfall is falling here in the next few days with any of the thunderstorm activity. And then the 8 to 14-day outlook takes us from June 11th to the 17th, showing well above normal temperatures again and dry conditions. You can see possibly starts of some moisture moving into parts of Arizona and New Mexico. But again, as far as the Great Basin, we will see probably another period of very hot temperatures going towards the middle of June. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.